Welcome back to Facebook Live on this Friday with me, Linda, at Land Labour Kenya and Harambee Token. We are glad to be back here with you, and we hope you are glad to be back here with us. Last week, we talked about the best reasons to go to a masterclass. I think they're the only reasons, unless you find new ones, which we'd love to hear about. So if you find any good reasons, any other good reasons why someone should miss a masterclass, then just comment, and then probably we'll highlight and give you some type of shout out. And today I'm excited because we're going to talk about innovation for a better life. And innovation is basically just bringing solutions to existing problems or problems that we ourselves have created or didn't know existed, but then somehow now we know they're there. So this time round, we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to probably give you about 5 to 6 innovative solutions that were brought about since probably kitambo sana, and they've come and changed our lives, revolutionized certain sectors of our economy and just daily living. And now we think it's normal, but then it started from someone doing research, and it started from someone trying to think about solutions, and then someone finally cracking it. And I'm sure for all these people who came up with all these things, there was a lot of not knowing what to do, like trying to figure things out, and also trying to push it out to other people to try and adopt your solution without knowing how far it has come, the levels that you went towards research, and probably the money involved towards creating the prototype. And it's just good to appreciate those types of things, and to just interpret growth in that way, that innovation actually comes from years long of research and just newness, and us as a people trying to accept change, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, of course, is the regular thing that you're probably watching me from. It's a mobile phone. The phone was created, or invented a long time ago, a long time ago, but then it's evolved with time, which is just generally the way of every innovation. They start out as something pretty simple, though revolutionary, and then they keep growing to something that we've never even imagined. So it's very difficult usually to credit the invention of something towards one person, because since the telephone itself, the regular one where you had to keep it in a stationary space in your corner of your house and anybody would pick it, there was no privacy, there was no ownership of it. It was just the home phone, which they still exist, and they're pretty handy still, but it's evolved to a level where you can actually have your own telephone, which now we call cell phone, and it's private. You can claim ownership, no one else has a right to pick it. You can do lots of things. For some people, their phone is actually their office, and this is one of the inventions that was a solution. When it kept growing and evolving, it became a solution to problems we didn't even know we had. Yeah. The second thing would be digital media, and this involves things like pictures and graphics and video and things like that, where in essence we were used to a lot of hard copy things, and they're okay because they're still media, aren't they? But then with time, also the whole creation of media evolved to a level where you can now take videos with your phone, edit with your phone, and share to a really wide range and to a global type of audience. And the third thing, which is totally connected to the second, digital media, would be the internet. And that when I was doing my research, I realized that the internet started to be built sometime in the 1950s, and with all those years, with gaps and people getting stuck, in 1983, finally they realized it could be something, like there could be a world network, a wireless network that could connect the whole world. And then just imagine from 1953 to 1990, this is when it actually took proper shape, when someone created the www. It's called the World Web, something. And someone created that, and then everyone adopted it with time. And right now, internet from your phone subscription, it could cost you as less as 5 shillings. Something that was so out there, something that had taken years and decades to research, is now in your phone, and you can purchase some of it for 5 shillings. Yeah, so innovation number 4 would be graphic design, which of course, for those of us who appreciate art and appreciate just color and things like that, then we know that it's an innovation that we've got to just upload every time. I know in the past, when you wanted to put out a message, probably just say, this is my shop, you'd have to bring a painter who is an artist as well, but they'd have to write and try to be as creative as they can with a paintbrush, and to just write, this is Linda's shop, Linda's grocery shop, or whatever. But now you can imagine all types of things you want to be on your signage. Speak to a graphic designer. They have the softwares. They can create, try to translate idea into actual art. And then you could take it to a printer and it's going to get printed. And suddenly you've translated something that was only existing in your mind into actual paper. And then you can put it up. So I'm sure when you walk around just the streets and in shops, even in the estates, there's a lot more life to take in because of graphic design. Yeah? So basically, innovation involves those kinds of things where you start somewhere, something that usually you're thinking of by yourself or with a group of like-minded people who are usually pretty few, and it takes a long time to actually figure out, and then eventually it opens doors to many other people who might not even know the actual names of the inventors or the researchers or the people who brought the first prototype and things like that. And if you think about it, everything you're probably using right now was thought through by someone, invented rather, and then with time it became an innovation that solved problems unimaginable, from clothes to rings to watches, like hand watches. They started from the wall, now you can walk around with one. There is from perfume to cameras to all sorts of things. And because of the evolution of things, they've only become better. And this is the same case with what now the world is rambling about, blockchain. It's a technology, just like so many other technologies we have, pretty new. Started out sometime in like 10 years ago. People really didn't know about it. But now the people who started with it can tell you that it's grown to levels that probably the people who created it never imagined. And so that's why we're doing the masterclass, so that just because we weren't part of other revolutionary inventions like the telephone where we weren't born, then we can give each other a chance to belong to this particular conversation, this particular innovative space, and give ourselves a chance to help it evolve. Yeah. So I don't know if you know the simple definition of blockchain, but it would be something like a public ledger where you can record transactions, you can build platforms, and usually the things and information that you feed into each block is immutable. So it brings transparency because the public ledger is public. There's transparency, then there's security, then there's just a lot of accountability, there's reduction of costs. Since it's independent, then there's just the removal of intermediaries in transactions, and so many other possibilities are locked in there. And we need to join together and to keep thinking together, regardless of whether we are programmers, or software developers, or investors, or just technology enthusiasts, or people like me who didn't study computer science, but then love innovation and love bringing solutions to the world. When we come together and discuss and work through what we already have, then usually we aid in the process of an evolution of a certain innovation. So this time also I would like to take the chance to invite you again for the blockchain masterclass that we are going to be holding on the 10th of March. That's a Saturday, by the way, and it's going to be at NILAB, and it starts not so early. It's about 9:30 to 10, and we'll finish in 2 hours. Hopefully that's going to be enough time for us to just indulge and enjoy talking about innovative solutions. We're going to start with what we do in real estate. You are free definitely to suggest other research topics, and we can continue to interact even online and on LinkedIn, that we can just aid in this growth, and so that Kenya will become part of the larger conversation. And, you know, I don't know where I read this quote, but it just challenged me a lot. It said that innovation and technology are a wave. So you either ride or you get wiped out. Thank you for joining me today. See you next Friday.